Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a very pleasant night to you, my precious pack, and welcome back once more to World of Tanks, and it's time for that first match in the Cobra that I told you about at the beginning of the month, and then just completely spaced off. So, about the tank. I like it and I don't like it. I like it for the fact that it's a very interesting magazine-fed tank, but I also don't like it because the primary feature I don't use, because I don't spam gold rounds. That's just not what I do. I will, however, say that it has a very interesting appearance about it, and it's growing on me, and you might see more from it in the future, but for now, you just get to see me be terrible in it in my first experience with the tank. And also heat rounds. Because prior to this, I didn't really play any tanks that primarily used heat rounds, and I've basically all but forgotten about the mechanics for them and how they function. So yeah. There were a few matches later on that I realized very quickly how useful they were at shooting through certain vehicles' roofs when they're trying to wedge themselves up into places that would have been useful if this thing didn't have heat rounds as standard. So, yeah, I got to experience unloading an entire magazine to the roof of a tortoise, is what I'm basically saying, and it was glorious watching them go from sitting there at almost full health to taking, I think I got low rolls with every single shot. It was 1,400, almost even for the entire magazine. Every single shot went in, so it was glorious, as I said, but it was kind of disappointing. And here comes the part where I completely forgot they don't do well against spaced armor. However, against lower plates, flat armor, things like that, they do just fine. Okay. Now, while I let the rest of this play out in the background, you watch me get taken out and then watch the rest of the match from the dead guy's perspective. I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to talk about what's currently going on in World of Tanks, Vega, and stuff like that. Because, I mean, we only got like 4.5 minutes left of this, so. First off, there's the black market thing going on, and as people probably saw from my little post section, yeah, I made a stupid joke, and a stupid joke cost me 20 million in credits, and I wound up with a 268 version 5, so yeah, I wasn't too fond of winding up with that tank, but I mean, I was expecting to get something else, namely my credits back, and I wound up with a tank, so yeah. And now you're going to see me being a terrible player. And then 2 low rolls. Gotta love them. And out of the match. But yeah. And then there was the second auction, which was a different version of the IS-3A, so it didn't really matter to me. That, in fact, cost 100,000 credit. Not 100,000 credits. Cost 100,000 free experience to bid on it, and I didn't have that, so didn't get to do anything with that one. So the premium tank that was added to it, I didn't get to even try to make a bid at. Whatever's supposed to be up for today, I might try, depending on what it's going to be. But I wouldn't take that to heart, because after winding up accidentally buying the 268 version 5, my account is hurting even more than it was before, and I'm one of the people that I will buy and sell my tier 10s, tier 9, basically any non-premium or non-reward tank is basically has a target on its back when things like this come around, because I will sell them in a heartbeat and strip off bounty or bond equipment without a hesitation just to get that quick little boost of credits. Because I can grind the credits out any number of times and get the tanks back. But the quick little boost of credits is always a thing that I like to have for when these events happen. But other than that, so far nothing else has happened. Now on the Vega front, why I didn't make a video this month for the one vessel, well, the vessel itself is pretty boring. It doesn't really have an interesting playstyle. I'll go more into detail about that when I make its dedicated video, which will be before the Let's Chat video at the end of the month. And yes, there's going to be a new Let's Chat video focusing on Vega at the end of the month, so look forward to that. And aside from that, other news in Vega, I don't know whether I want to quit or not, but I have been thinking about it more and more as Tier 11 is played out, because it's overly boring, and I'll be explaining in more detail in the Let's Chat video about why I think it's so boring. Well, from my perspective, it just doesn't feel like there's anything interesting to do in the game at this point, and I feel like taking a break from it should probably be a good thing, and it'll let me focus on other things, primarily content for the channel. Because if I keep sitting around chewing away at my fingers, waiting for something interesting to happen or something that I find interesting, well, that's not going to do anything beneficial for anybody that's waiting on something on the channel, especially not if you want something entertaining. And speaking of entertaining, in the next few days, depending on how quickly I can get it recorded, edited, and posted, you'll see my first match in 268 version 5, because I figured, you know what, I wound up losing money on it, well, credits on it. I might as well go ahead and throw it into a video and see what happens. And spoiler, I've managed to do about 3,000 damage average in it so far. It's stupidly easy to do damage, but I mean that's kind of a given with the fact it has 150mm main armament, 750 alpha, and high penetration on standard rounds. Me not carrying gold, that just makes it an even more enjoyable tank. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for now, because I don't want to continue talking after this video ends. So, be safe out there, happy hunting, and as always, I'll see you later.